hurt my baby so bad. My baby didn't deserve this. My baby was a good baby. She was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody. She never bothered nobody. She was a friend to everybody.
This is Beauty Cat Era Couch. She was born on April 23, 2001, in Austell, Georgia, a small city nestled in the western suburbs of Atlanta. From the very beginning, she lived up to her name. She grew up in Cobb County, attending local public schools, and from a young age, two things defined her: dance and an enormous heart. As a child, she threw herself into movement, the kind of kid who couldn't hear music without responding to it. She was, by every account, joyful, contagious. As she got older, Beauty discovered the skating rink. And that's where everything clicked. When she realized she could merge her love of dance with roller skating, something extraordinary happened. She took her passion online, posting skating videos, dance clips, and lifestyle content to her Instagram page at Beauty Cat Era. The response was overwhelming. By the summer of 2023, she had amassed nearly 150,000 followers who tuned in for her energy, her skill, and her unfiltered authenticity. But Beauty wasn't just an influencer. She was a student, enrolled at Clayton State University, just one semester away from earning her bachelor's degree in psychology. After graduation, she planned to pursue a career in child psychology. During the week, she worked as director of dance at the Youth Life Center of Arts, teaching kids the art of movement. On weekends, she waitressed. She also ran her own creative business, Beauty K Essentials LLC, making and selling handmade art and crafts at pop-up shops. She also gave back to her skating community. In August 2023, just weeks before her death, she hosted her very first group roller skating class for fans in Riverdale, Georgia. Her sister Layla Brown told reporters she would spend the majority of her spare time at the skating rink. When she found out she could collaborate dance and skating, it was nothing but amazing. Her mother, Kimberly Couch, described her simply, "She was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody."
Baby, she was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody. She never bothered nobody. She was a friend to everybody.
She was a friend to everybody. Beauty Couch was 22 years old. She had her whole world in motion: a brush fire, a burning car, a young woman who had captivated 150,000 people online. Gone. On August 23, 2023, firefighters in Austell, Georgia, were dispatched to what seemed like a routine call: a fire near Joe Jerkins Boulevard. But when they arrived, they found something that would send a chill through an entire community: a vehicle fully engulfed in flames. Investigators traced the registration back to a local family. When they contacted them, the answer they received stopped everything cold. Their daughter, 22-year-old Beauty Cat Era Couch, had not been seen since the night before. Officers returned to the scene and began a careful search of the surrounding woods. What they found in that tree line would confirm everyone's worst fears. Beauty was gone, and someone had tried very hard to make sure no one would ever find out what happened to her. This is the story of a young woman who was building a life full of color, rhythm, and light. A woman who taught kids to skate, who showed up for her community, who was one semester away from her psychology degree. And it's the story of how the man she trusted, the man who had moved across state lines to be with her, allegedly took all of that away. This is the case of Beauty Cat Era Couch. Tuesday, August 22, 2023. It was an ordinary summer day in Austell. Beauty had been active online just days before. Her last Instagram post, dated August 20th, showed her smiling by pool loungers. Her hair dyed a striking red. The caption read, "He said I look good in red. Might as well call me Sexy Red." She was glowing. She seemed happy. But by Tuesday evening, she was unreachable. Her family became worried quickly. Beauty was not the type to go silent. She was close with her family, constantly in touch, always checking in. When calls went unanswered and texts went unread, the alarm bells started ringing. The next morning, Wednesday, August 23rd, at approximately 12:18 p.m., the Austell Fire Department received a call about a brush fire near Joe Jerkins Boulevard and Lander Street. When crews arrived, they found more than a brush fire. A vehicle was fully engulfed in flames. Firefighters extinguished the blaze and towed the burned-out car to a nearby wrecker yard. Routine. Then investigators ran the vehicle's registration. It led them to a home in Austell to Beauty's family. Officers made contact and delivered the news about the vehicle. The family's response was immediate. Their daughter had not been seen since the night before, and she was the one who drove that car. Something was very wrong. Austell police returned to the scene, the same stretch of road where firefighters had battled the fire. This time, they searched the surrounding area methodically. They swept the wood line, and there, hidden at the edge of the trees, they found her. The Cobb County Police Department confirmed in a statement. Austell police searched the area where the vehicle was found and located a body that matched the description of Beauty Couch in the wood line. Based on the initial scene investigation, foul play is suspected. According to investigators, as later confirmed by her family and documented in the arrest warrant, Beauty had been stabbed, repeatedly, in the upper part of her body. She had been left there, in the woods, while her car burned nearby. The Cobb County Police Department's Major Crimes Unit took over the homicide investigation. The hunt for a killer had begun. Investigators moved quickly, and within days they had a name: Eugene Toby Louis Jacques, 21 years old, originally from Naples, Florida, and crucially Beauty Couch's boyfriend. According to reporting by WSB-TV Channel 2 Atlanta and confirmed by Beauty's sister Layla Brown, the relationship was relatively new. Louis Jacques had not always lived in Georgia. He was a roller skater himself, and that shared passion was how he came into Beauty's world. But then things shifted. He left Florida and moved to Austell, specifically to be closer to Beauty. Those who knew him had reservations from the start. Beauty's sister Layla told reporters, "I thought he was a very quiet guy, almost abnormally quiet." Beauty's mother, Kimberly, was even more direct. She said, "Bad vibe about him, period. I met him one time. When I met him, I said, 'Hey, how are you doing?' And that was it. Then I looked at my baby and I was like, that person is not going to be the right person for my baby." On the surface, the relationship appeared normal at first. He bought her flowers. He took her out. He made her smile. But beneath it, something darker was building. Investigators reviewed evidence and determined that Louis Jacques stabbed Beauty multiple times in the upper body, then left her body in the wooded area off Joe Jerkins Boulevard. After that, according to authorities, he allegedly set her car on fire, an attempt, her sister suggested, to destroy evidence. Ironically, it was that fire that led investigators back to the scene and ultimately to Beauty's body. By August 25th, just 72 hours after her body was discovered, a warrant had been issued for Louis Jacques' arrest. Charges: murder, arson, and aggravated assault. But he was already gone. In the hours and days following the crime, Louis Jacques had fled Georgia entirely. He drove across state lines, heading to Louisiana, a state he was known to have ties to, roughly 450 miles from the crime scene. It didn't work. On August 25th, the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Proactive Enforcement Unit, working in coordination with Georgia investigators, tracked him down and took him into custody.
A man charged for Instagram influencer Beauty Couch's death awaits extradition back to Georgia.
Cobb County police believe 21-year-old Eugene Louis Jacques killed Beauty Couch last Wednesday and then set her car on fire. Reports say that Louis Jacques was Couch's boyfriend. He was arrested in St. Tammany Parish in Louisiana and charged with murder, arson, and aggravated assault.
Sheriff Randy Smith issued a statement that left no ambiguity. "Let the message be that we do not take kindly to people who think they can commit a crime elsewhere and try to hide in St. Tammany Parish. We were happy to help our counterparts in Georgia by locating this suspect and taking him into custody, so he may face justice and Miss Couch's family can begin to receive closure." Louis Jacques was transported back to Georgia and booked into the Cobb County Jail on September 15, 2023. In October 2023, a Cobb County grand jury handed down a formal indictment, expanding the charges against him to 5 counts: murder, aggravated assault, arson, concealing the death of another, and tampering with evidence. As of this reporting, a formal trial date has not been publicly announced. Eugene Toby Louis Jacques remains in Cobb County custody, awaiting trial. The motive, the single burning question of why, has never been publicly disclosed by investigators. Beauty's family has said they may never fully understand it. Her sister Layla said it best. The guy that was buying her flowers and taking her out and making her smile at one point. How did it get here? I just can't believe this. Here's what made this case chilling beyond the facts themselves. The fire was supposed to be the end of the trail. Eugene Louis Jacques allegedly believed that by setting Beauty's car ablaze, he could destroy the evidence and disappear. He nearly did disappear. He drove 450 miles to Louisiana while investigators were still piecing together what had happened. But the fire, the very act meant to conceal the crime, is what drew firefighters to the scene. And firefighters responding to a brush fire is what prompted police to run the vehicle's registration. And that registration is what led officers to Beauty's family. And her family's concern is what sent investigators back to search the wood line. The cover-up led directly to the discovery. There is another layer to this case that has never fully been explained. Beauty's last Instagram post, dated just 2 days before she disappeared, referenced her boyfriend directly, captioning it with, "He said I look good in red." It was playful, affectionate. There was no visible sign of danger. And yet her mother says she felt it from the moment she met him. Bad vibe about him, period. That maternal instinct, dismissed in the moment, has taken on unbearable weight in retrospect. Additionally, the grand jury indictment revealed a detail not included in the original arrest warrant: the charge of concealing the death of another. This tells us that investigators believe this was not a crime of pure impulse, that steps were taken deliberately to hide what had been done to Beauty. Her body was left in the woods. Her car was set on fire. He fled across state lines. This was someone trying, methodically, to walk away. He didn't. The Cobb County District Attorney's Office is building its case. With 5 charges on the indictment, the prosecution holds a serious hand. The trial, whenever it comes, will be the moment Beauty's family has been waiting for. Beauty Couch is not the only young woman who built something beautiful online and lost her life to violence in a relationship. Gabby Petito, Blue Point, New York, 1999 to 2021. Gabby Petito was 22 years old and a travel vlogger who documented her cross-country van trip with her fiancé Brian Laundrie on YouTube and Instagram. In August 2021, Gabby was killed in Wyoming's Bridger-Teton National Forest. An autopsy confirmed she died of manual strangulation. Laundrie returned to Florida alone, refused to speak to police, and eventually fled. Before his remains were found in a Florida nature preserve weeks later, he had left behind a written confession. Gabby's parents later won a $3 million wrongful death settlement. Gabby was creative, adventurous, and deeply loved. Like Beauty, she was a young woman using social media to share her life with the world. Like Beauty, she was killed by someone she trusted with everything. Christian Toby Abumsali, Dallas, Texas, 1994 to 2022. While Beauty's story involves a woman killed by a partner, it's worth acknowledging that intimate partner violence touches everyone, including men. Christian Abumsali, 27, was a cryptocurrency investor who was stabbed to death in his Miami apartment in April 2022. His girlfriend, Courtney Clenny, was later charged with second-degree murder. Christian was just days away from his 28th birthday. His family fought publicly for justice from the very beginning, demanding that his death not be dismissed and that he not be forgotten. Christian deserved better. So did Gabby. So did Beauty. Behind every viral story, there is a human being with a family who loved them and a future that was taken. Say their names. As of March 2026, Eugene Toby Louis Jacques remains in Cobb County custody, charged with 5 felony counts: murder, aggravated assault, arson, concealing the death of another, and tampering with evidence. A formal trial date has not yet been publicly confirmed. The Cobb County District Attorney's Office has continued its investigation, and the indictment handed down in October 2023 reflects the full weight of what prosecutors believe occurred on the night of August 22, 2023. For Beauty's family, each passing day without a verdict is another day of waiting. Her mother, Kimberly, said in the days after her death, "They took a part of my life from me. They took a part of my heart. I want them to pay for what they did to my baby."
Developing closer to home, a man is in custody for the murder of a 22-year-old woman in Cobb County. Police say 21-year-old Eugene Louise Jacques is suspected of killing Beauty Couch Wednesday morning, then setting her car on fire. Loved ones say Couch had so much promise. She was attending college and was an Instagram influencer. This is what her mom told Fox 5 earlier this week.
They hurt my baby so bad. My baby didn't deserve this. My baby was a good baby. She was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody. She never bothered nobody. She was a friend to everybody.
Yeah, mother's pain right there.
Her sister Layla, who identified her brother-in-law as almost abnormally quiet from the very beginning, is still searching for understanding. She impacted a lot of people, Layla told reporters, and she did nothing to anybody for anyone to want to do her like this. Beauty's cousin Greg Roper visited the crime scene in the days after her body was found, leaving balloons and flowers in her memory. "I just had to feel her final resting place," he said. "I wanted her to know she's missed, and she's loved. And Beauty is loved by a family who raised her, by a community that learned to skate and dance in part because she showed them it was beautiful, and by 150,000 strangers who found something in her videos that made their own lives feel more alive." On her final Instagram post, fans flooded the comments. One wrote, "If anyone knows what happened to her, please contact the police. She was found gone and car burned. Such a beautiful soul gone too soon. I want justice for her." Another, "When I spoke to her, she was so kind. Now we are from Pittsburgh, sending prayers and love to the family. Justice for Beauty Couch means a full and fair trial. It means every charge on that indictment being examined carefully in a court of law. It means her family sitting in that courtroom and watching the system work the way it should. If you want to support the movement for justice, share Beauty's story. Say her name. Keep her in the conversation. Cases like this can fall out of the news cycle, but families don't get to move on until justice is served. And if you or someone you know is in a relationship that doesn't feel safe, trust that feeling. Beauty's own mother felt something was wrong the first time she met him. Please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE-7233. Before we close, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Do you think the 5 charges on the indictment are enough? And what do you think it will take for Beauty's family to find peace? We'll be following this case. Subscribe so you don't miss the trial updates.